Welcome back to Strength, Strategy, and Mindset. This is day number 97. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for Endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. Can you believe it that we are in the final stretches? That's right, day 97 of our Strength, Strategy, and Mindset series. This week, we're stepping into and moving through this idea of resilience in motion. It's a mini series, if you will, that explores what it truly means to be resilient. Now, resilience isn't just about pushing through. Resilience isn't rigid, it's responsive. Each day we'll reflect on a quote that captures a different facet of resilience. And through every move, through every episode, fasting check-in, strength, strategy, and mindset, we'll return to this same theme. We're honoring the inner transformation, not just chasing the numbers. Because when you play your own game, resilience isn't a reaction, it's a rhythm. And here's your quote for today. Perfection is static. Acceptance, acceptance is alive. Adaptation is alive. Perfection is static. Adaptation is alive. And so is resilience. The theme for this is that resilience isn't rigid. It's responsive. It's responsive to what goes on in our lives. So the focus is on releasing the pressure to get it all right and embrace the power of pivoting. Whether it's fasting, fitness, mindset, your ability to adjust is what keeps you in motion. Here's a mindset mini. Perfection is brittle. It shatters under stress. Adaptation is fluid. It flexes, it learns, it leans, it bends, it survives. The most resilient people aren't flawless. They're flexible. When the plan breaks, the resilient don't quit. They rebuild. And so here's the question. Where in your life, where in my life, am I clinging to perfection? What would it look like to adapt with grace, with poise, and be resilient? Let me encourage you for this. Take a 2-minute period, and just reflect. Do a voice memo, do a journal entry, or even walk with intention. I want you to understand that resilience has to do with more than simply bouncing back and going a different way. It's understanding that perfection is not what we're shooting for. If your fasting window shifts, adapt. If your energy dips, adjust your movement. If your mindset wavers, reframe. Progress isn't linear. It's resilient and it's not rigid. Let's go ahead. Let's jump into our warm-up exercises for today. And here we are. We're going to jump right into our warm-up exercises. Remember, this is designed to get the blood flowing, designed to get the heart rate up, get the temperature going, and also get those muscles relaxed as we move into the rest of our circuit. So go ahead. We're going to start with our arm twist. 10 forward, 10 backwards. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go ahead and do our cross-body leg swings. So let's go ahead. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's move to the other leg. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10. Then we're going to do our forward reaches. Remember, these are intended to work on the upper body, the arms. You want to flex and put tension on the chest, the arms, the neck muscles, shoulder muscles. Of course, we've got the core activated. We've got the glutes, feet shoulder width apart. And let's go ahead and let's do it. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. That's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. That's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. That's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that gives us our 10. All right. So we're going to do our hind knee marches. We're going to do 60 seconds with a 1, 2 count. Those knees, we want to get those up as high as possible. Let's go ahead. Let's get started. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Feel that temperature going up? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Feel the heart rate going up as well, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 30 seconds more. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 15 seconds. Are you ready for the last 10? And here we go. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. I really felt that. All right, let's go ahead and we'll get down to the floor and do our pelvic tilts. And so we've got our feet flat against the ground, and we're basically tilting our hips forward so that we can get a fist height below our lower back. Right. Move away from this a little bit to our lower back. And we're pushing up through the heel. And when we get up, we're going to do a 5 count. For those, we're going to do 10. Ready? Palms flat against the ground. And here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. That's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 9. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's 10. Awesome. All right, let's get to our workout bench and we'll move to our dumbbell presses. And so we are talking today about the fact that resilience is not perfect. Yeah? And sometimes we think we have to be perfect, and if we're not perfect, then we don't do, right? So sometimes the drive for perfection inhibits us or prevents us from just getting started. How many people who have not worked out because they didn't have weights, they didn't have equipment, they didn't have space, they didn't have, right? So all those things. But as you've seen, and you will see again soon, that you can actually work out lots of different places, lots of different spaces. It doesn't have to be perfect. I've said to people, hey, if you don't have weights and you want weights, get a baggie and put some cans in there, and those are weights. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and let's get into this first set. And we're gonna do the modified version. So up and down and up and down. That's one. Up and down and up and down. That's two. Up and down and up and down. That's three. Up and down. Up and down. That's four. Up and down. Up and down. That's five. Up and down. Up and down. That's six. Up and down. Up and down. That's seven. Up and down and up and down. That's eight. All right. So sometimes we push for perfection, but remember, we're not looking for perfection. Not necessarily. Just because we don't have perfection doesn't mean that we stop and we move or we go back. Remember, resilience says that we don't have to be perfect. We have to be adaptable, and that's the phrase, adaptable. Resilience, oftentimes people think, is just a matter of bouncing back, but there are lots of facets, lots of different angles to look at resilience, and so this is one of the key ones. All right, let's get to that second set. All right, and up and down, and up and down. That's one. Up and down, up and down. There's two. Up and down, up and down. That's three. Up and down and up and down. That's four. Up and down, up and down. That's five. Up and down, up and down. That's six. Up and down, up and down. That's seven. Up and down, up and down. That's eight. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, that one took a little bit of resilience. So not doing it perfect, but adjusting. I'm going to take a little longer break between that last set and this one. Give those muscles a little chance to recover before we get into this last set. And so, where in your life have you allowed the desire for perfection to really prevent you from doing things that you wanted to do, or going to places, being in spaces where you wanted to be, but you weren't perfect? One of the places where that comes up for me is I find myself now in spaces where there are creators, people who have ideas about content and doing what I do. So I hear people talking and they'll ask me questions, and so they'll go through a list of, well, I've got to do this and this and this and this and this before I make the first video. Notice this. So I've got to get all this right before I make the first video. And I often say to them, why not make the video and then learn as you go? But one of the ideas is this drive for perfection that we have, and that is in everyday life, but also definitely in our space here as we are exercising. All right, last set. And up and down, up and down. That's one. Up and down, up and down. That's two. Up and down, up and down. That's three. Up and down, up and down. That's four. Up and down, up and down. That's five. Up and down, up and down. That's six. Up and down and up and down. That's seven. Up and down and up and down. That's eight. Oh, yeah. So not perfect, but done. Woo-wee. Yeah, those last two. So what's the last two on the last set? Last two reps on the last set. All right, let's go ahead and get these down. And move to our knee extensions. And we're gonna do 10 of these alternating each leg with a 5 count when we do the extension. Ready? And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. 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 That's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 7. Oh, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down. And that gives us our 10. All right. Let's go ahead and get into our curl and presses. All right. Feet shoulder width apart. Activate that core. And let's go for it. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 1. Up, twist, press, and down, twist, 2. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 3. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 4. Up, twist, press, and down, twist, 5. Up, twist, press, and down, twist, 6. Up, twist, press, and down, twist, 7. Up, twist, press, and down, twist, 8. Right? Goes down. And so, resilience, right? So, resilience on the move is the theme and one of the pivotal points of this week. Just finished doing our show, Dwain Woode MD Live a little while ago, and the idea was to overcome or get away from the desire to be hustling, right? To be hustling, to always be moving and stressing out over whether it's exercise or fasting or walking, our strength training that we're doing here, because that also sets us up for difficulty because it becomes a stress now on us. And so waking up early, going to the gym, we're doing 2-a-days, we're worried about prepping, worried about eating, worried about fasting, and not really taking time to recover for resting. And so as we're doing this, remember that a part of what we want to do, part of what we need to do is also build in time for recovery. All right, here we go. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 1. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 2. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 3. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 4. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 5. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 6. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 7. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 8. All right. So I was talking to someone earlier today, and we're talking about exercising and really kind of getting into our routine. And one of the comments was that exercising is hard. And I said, well, it's not sometimes that the exercise is hard, but that our mind, if we give into that initial thought, right? So we're like, I need to exercise, oh, but, and that oh, but is very strong. And so if we allow the oh, but to happen or to be completed, we end up not coming out. But there are times when I'm like, man, I don't feel like going out there today, but I'm going. And so once I make that decision, I show up and I start doing those arm twists. Yeah, and sometimes I say I'll go for 5 minutes, and 45 minutes later I'm still here. Why? Because that oh but did not take effect. I didn't allow it to fester and stay, and so I moved past that. And once I got here and got involved, man, you've heard me counting and just blow by the number because what? Because I got into the routine. All right, let's go ahead and let's get into this last set. And ready? And here we go. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 1. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 2. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 3. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 4. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 5. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 6. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 7. And up, twist, press, and down, twist, 8. All right. We're going to get these down. And then get our kettlebell. And we'll get into our squats here in just a minute. So perfection. So as we are going through the routine, going through the reps, going through the sets, remember when we first started, we were talking about holding the dumbbells correctly, correct posture. So as we are thinking about perfection, I don't want you to think that we're saying that those items were not necessary. So we want to make sure that we have the right form, right focus, foundation. Remember that's the right form. that is important because of getting the maximum benefit from the muscles, making sure that we're safe. So that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, for instance, you saw me a little while ago when we were doing the dumbbell presses and those last sets, right? So I paused and I'm like, okay, I'm digging in. You didn't hear me saying it, but I'm digging in. I'm giving what I got. Okay, you saw me in our last episode where we got to the seventh rep in that third set, and I had to take a pause. Right, so what we're talking about is not necessarily that we don't want the right form and focus, but we want to make sure that you understand that you may have to do 2 sets of 8, or 3 sets of 5, or 3 sets of 8 with lower weights. That's okay, because we're building momentum and we're moving in a way that sets us up for maximum benefit. Because if you get hurt because you're pushing through, because you think you have to get that 100th set with 100th reps with the highest weight, then you cause damage, and in the long term, then you can't recover from that. So we're talking about making sure that we're doing what we need to do, the right form, the right focus, right holding, but understand that it modifies, it pivots. It's not perfect, it's flexible. All right, let's go ahead and get into our squats. And so we've got our feet shoulder a little wider than shoulder width apart, and we're gonna act like we're sitting, and then bend the knees, and we're gonna do 3 sets of 8 of these. Ready? And here we go. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. And so even as you're doing squats, right, so we want the back as straight as possible, you may not be able to do that, right? So you see me, sometimes I'm a little forward, more forward than I should be, and you probably see me sometimes adjusting my leg as I'm going down or as I'm down, because I'm pivoting, I'm tweaking, I'm changing, I'm adjusting. All of that is required when we're doing what we're doing here. Okay, just another few seconds, and let's go ahead. Let's get to that second set, and here we go. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. All right, so let's go ahead and get our dumbbells, and we'll get into our hammer curls. We're going to do 3 sets of 8 of these. I'm going to go from set 1 to set 2 with a brief pause. Same thing between sets 2 and sets 3. Got our feet shoulder width apart, core activated, and we're going to lift the dumbbell to the opposite shoulder with the top of it reaching about the level of the shoulder, okay, or the clavicle. Ready? And here we go. And up, and down, and up, and down. That's 1, up, and down, up, and down. That's 2, up, and down, up, and down. That's 3, up, and down, up, and down. That's 4, up, and down, up, and down. That's 5, up, and down, up, and down. That's 6, up, and down, up, and down. That's 7, up, and down, and up, and down. That's 8. All right, second set. Up, and down, up, and down. That's 1, up, and down, up, and down. That's 2, up, and down, up and down. That's 3, up and down, up and down. That's 4, up and down, up and down. That's 5, up and down, up and down. That's 6, up and down, up and down. That's 7, up and down, up and down. That's 8. All right, third set. Here we go. And up and down, up and down. That's 1, up and down, up and down. That's 2, up and down, up and down. That's 3, up and down, up and down. That's 4, up and down, up and down. That's 5, up and down, up and down. That's 6, up and down, up and down. That's 7, up and down, up and down. That's 8. All right, look at that. We went directly through the 3 sets, pretty much. All right, that's 21. That's 24. That's 21. That's 24. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to get down to the ground and we're going to do our dead bugs and our stomach crunches. I'm going to get this off. We've got, we're going to put our feet, our legs up in the air, calves parallel to the ground, and arms straight up. We're going to alternate right arm, left leg, and then left arm, right leg. We're going to do 10 of these. Ready? And here we go. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. All right, and then we'll get to the stomach crunches, and we'll do 10 of those. Get the knees as high as we can to the chest, and then we're going to extend the legs out as low as we can without touching the ground. That will be 1 rep. All right, so we'll do 10 of those. I'm going to put my hands, my palms flat on the ground, and actually move this way a little bit. All right, so starting position, it starts just like the dead bug. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 9. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's 10. Whew. Okay. And so I'm going to stay here for just a minute. All right, so just like in the movies, you get that preview for the next movie. All right, let's do one thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh. All right, let's go to our dumbbells, and we're going to go to our lateral raises. All right, here we go. All right, we got 3 sets of 8. And ready? And up. 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 That's our 8. And those are shaping, toning, and you heard me say before, just small. Those are small movements, but they bring tremendous benefit in our shoulders, in those neck muscles. Of course, we've always got the core activated, so we're bringing all of those muscles in to make them involved in what we're doing. One of the important exercises that we do, those are the stomach crunches, and particularly the way as we do it, the crunches and the dead bugs, right? Because when we do that extension, we're actually bringing those legs down, and we have to use these core muscles, right? We have to use the glutes, we have to use the quads in order for that to happen. So all these muscles are involved, and we're strengthening, tightening those up. Right? So just like that, the lateral raises also are targeting specific areas in the upper body to get strength and toning there as well. Right? And here we go. Up. And 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 up. Awesome. So, brief break here, and we'll get into that last set, and then continue moving through the circuit. So resilience, not perfection. Resilience, adaptable. Resilience, just not bouncing back, not only bouncing back, because that's what a lot of people think of when they think of resilience. And make sure you get over and watch our show, Dwain Woode MD Live, opting out of the hustle, and redefining success without burnout. All right, let's get into that last set. And here we go. And up. 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 And that gives us our 8. All right. And then we'll get these for our balance exercise. And so, resilience. So balance, grounding, resilience, the idea of foundation, focus, core, all of those are concepts that are so pivotal in all that we do. You'll hear those again, right? So keep those in mind. Pivotal in everything that we do here. And so balance is super, super important because resilience requires some balance. And you heard me mention in our last episode that if you're balanced in terms of your domains of health, right, you're able to tolerate and you're able to be more resilient. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to alternate each leg 10 with a 5 count when we do our knee. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's 10. All right. And so just like we did our warm-up, let's go ahead and jump into our cool down. Cool down is important as well, so don't negate it. Do the warm-up and do the cool down. And in the cool down, I mean, so many things that we could learn. But here in this space, as we're working out, the idea of the cool down is to allow the muscles to begin relaxing. We get some big deep breaths in through our lungs because we may not have been breathing as deeply as we should have. And so that brings that life-giving oxygen into our bodies. It also gets rid of some of the carbon dioxide that's been building up from the lactic acid that's in our body as we've been moving. It cools the body down. So we did the warm-up to get the temperature up. And as we do this, we're kind of cooling down. And just the feeling of having done something positive for our bodies. There are lots of hormonal changes that go on when we're exercising. Blood sugars are going down. The GLUT transporters are being put up to the muscle cells, and so they can suck up glucose without the use of insulin. So our insulin resistance is improving. Our bodies are now primed if we're fasting, for example, for autophagy. And even if we're not fasting, one of the ways of pushing our body into autophagy is for exercise. So many positive benefits that come from being in this space, and all of that happens. And as we are going through the cool down, where we begin processing that, right? It gives us an opportunity to process, gives us an opportunity to think about what we just did and the benefit that's coming. It allows us to visualize, okay? I use this as one of my executes, right? COPE, clarify, observe, pause, and execute. This is one of them, right? So when I need to clear my mind, when I need to do something other than eating, right here. Okay? And then, so that's the idea of the cool down. And so one of the big concepts here is this idea of grounding. And so I'm grounded. The ground is firm. It is not moving. It is not uneven. It doesn't give way. It is not shifting. I'm on solid ground, and in order for me to effectively do the exercises that we just went through, starting with the arm twist, then the cross-body leg swings, the high knee marches, the pelvic tilts that we did, the forward reaches, and then getting into the circuit itself, whether we do curl and presses or squats or hammer curls, all of those require firm foundation. And understand that when you're on firm foundation, you are efficient. And so our goal is to be balanced and to remind ourselves, get some cues. If we're in a situation, just plant your feet, get grounded. And from this position now, you're able to look and assess what's going on around you and to make decisions and to set yourself up for success. So whether you're taking an exam, sit at the front of the chair, plant your feet on the ground. If you're in a conversation and it's not going quite the way you thought it was going to go, put your feet flat on the ground, plant them both, and move from there. If you're about to give a talk, a presentation, and you're unsteady, unsure, plant your feet. If you're in the hallway talking to somebody in a conversation and it is is going a direction that you're not anticipating, give yourself a cue. They don't even have to know that you're doing it. Just ground yourself and understand that from this position, from this grounding position, I can now assess and do what I need to do. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and let's imagine, though, the emotions, the tension that comes from here. All right, those muscles are under tension, time under tension. The anxiety that we have for the future, the depression that we may have from the past, and the worry that we have for our current situation. All of that is now draining out of our bodies, draining from the top of our head into our forehead, into our face, our jaw, our neck, our shoulders, upper chest, upper abdomen, lower abdomen, is draining out of our pelvis, draining out of our hips, out of our glutes, down through our quads and our hamstrings, into our knees, into our calf muscles, down into our ankle and our feet, and it's at the soles of our feet. Now we're pushing it out of our body, pushing it away from us, because the ground is solid. The ground can take it. We're grounded right now. Feel those muscles relaxing, relaxing, relaxing. And then now let's take some big deep breaths to bring in that life-giving oxygen. We're going to breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. We're going to breathe in success, breathe out failure. We're going to breathe in the growth mindset, breathe out the fixed mindset. We're going to breathe in the inner coach. We're going to breathe out the inner critic. We're going to breathe in self-confidence. We're going to breathe out self-doubt. Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to do 5 times. And on the 5th one, we're going to breathe in and hold it for a 5 count and then breathe out. Okay, ready? Here we go. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And this time we're going to breathe and hold for a 5 count. In through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And breathe out. Yeah. And know that you've done something amazing for yourself. Something stupendous for your health. You've made an enormous investment in your future and in your well-being. And you know what you've done? That's right. You know what time it is. Let me grab my hat. That's right. You've been here one more time. 90, how many? 97. Oh, man. 97 times that you've been here. 97 pieces of evidence. 97 times you've said, I'm showing up for myself, for my health. I'm showing up for my future. I'm showing up for my family. I'm showing up for those things in my life that's important. Every time you do that, you're living limitless living, because that's what it says. That I'm showing up with my best self, my best health, and my best plans. I'm not letting anything around me prevent me from doing what I need to do. I'm pushing through the obstacles. I'm breaking down the barriers. I'm not allowing things around me to constrain me to be in this space, and I'm going to be successful. And I am excited because as I'm walking through my path, I get to walk along this path with you and to see the amazing benefits that you're getting in your life, in your metabolism, and setting yourself up for long-term health and for long-term success. That's the beauty of what I get to do. I get to walk along with you. And I'm glad that you're here. I'm proud of you for making a decision to take charge of your health and your life. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for Endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. So go live a limitless life, and we'll see you tomorrow on day number 98 for strength, strategy, and mindset.